Check.
And we are back on game 2. Welcome. And you're back on the other link.
Okay, so as we welcome you back, let me quickly explain what happened in the game, and then I'll explain why I missed it. I missed it because I literally just dropped my headset, and then I got confused where my headset was, and I couldn't find it. In much more serious news, looking at the ice, it looks like we had a guy who went shoulder first into that post. I'm not sure whether he caught another player or if he just got that goal post, and that is the danger of those posts not coming out easily. That's Panhong Swati from Lexicon Lumberjacks, who is in some pain. It looked to be his right shoulder that contacted the post.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be okay, though. He's skating off on his own accord, and he's sticking his arm out to wave to the guys. So I think he's going to be okay. A little shaken up for a couple of minutes there, but he's okay.
I've had an injury like that before, and it's that contact with a hard. I mean, you have too, I'm sure. It hurts. It's painful. You'll probably have a dead arm for a while, but it'll be all right.
And you play through it, as hockey players do.
It'll be all right. And you can see he's got his helmet still on. He's going to be all right.
Yep, this is not soccer. This is hockey. Those guys play through the pain.
4 minutes remaining. So here's the reset, by the way. We had to reset the feed because of time rules. It's complicated, and I would say you wouldn't understand, but the truth is I don't understand. And there's a goal from Kim Arola on a rocket shot that just rang the inside of the, I'm not sure if that caught the iron or if it caught a body or if it just went straight to the back of the net. But either way, that was just a snapshot beauty from Arola. And Lexicon Lumberjacks now leading 4-2. You didn't miss any goals. What I was starting to tell you is we had to switch the feed to our second game because of something. Ask Keith.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Double digits for Arola. 10 goals in his 7th game played this season. Let me quickly check my numbers, but as far as I'm aware, that makes him one of just 3 players in the league, along with Lampson and Isaacson from KCG, to have double-digit goals thus far this season. So pretty impressive. Kim Arola, that's with 3 missed games, 10 goals now, and a 4-2 Lexicon Lumberjacks lead.
Yeah, and of course the other 2 guys you mentioned, they're up next game, so let's see how many points they get in the next game.
By the way, I know this is a little inside baseball here, but your headphones okay? You can hear me now?
Yep.
Okay.
All good.
Good. So, with that, we are back for the last 2 minutes here, and then we get ready for the second game, which is coming up just after this one ends, KCG and Aware, and we'll tell you all about that one if you stick around with us. But in the meantime, Lexicon Lumberjacks, all the adversity this team has had this year, they had a really rough stretch where they lost, I believe, 4 consecutive games. But if they win this game, that would mean they started their season with a 4-game winning streak, had a 4-game losing streak, and now this will be another winning streak. This will be their 2nd consecutive if they hang on in this one. And, whether you're, as Kinborn rings the iron, Ken Kinborn lucky to put the icing on the cake here. If you're Lexicon Lumberjacks, you got to feel pretty good about the fact that, even with that mid-season slide, you're looking at probably starting the year, depending on the next 85 seconds of this game, 6-3-1.
Yeah, and all 3 lines are playing well. They're not just relying on the big stars of the front line. And, of course, Lance is playing well, too. So it's a solid effort. It's a team effort all the way through.
We can give him some grief because he's our good friend and occasional broadcast partner. But Lance Parker, that's a terrific game in net. Honestly, no joking around. It is a fantastic. And Dream played well, too, on the other side. But Lance Parker is going to get this win. Pretty impressive effort. Parker eventually, depending on how the final numbers shake out at the moment, it's 16 saves on 18 chances. For Dream, 23 saves on 27 chances. Both goalkeepers kept their teams in the game today, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's fun to watch because we did see some good goaltending. We also saw some nice scoring efforts on both sides. It's been a great game. But, yeah, the goalies have played well.
Friesen splits the defense and tries to tuck it in, but Parker kept that pad on the ice and kept his skate hugging the post, and he makes the save. intercepted from Pomtong. Final 30 seconds, a 4-2 Lexicon Lumberjacks lead. With the win, they will move to 6-3-1. Siam Mandalay, assuming this result holds, but let's not speak too soon, as I say to myself. If this result holds, Siam Mandalay will fall to 3-7-0. Pass to Bonazzo, that shot just off the mark as he was waiting for it on the doorstep. Final 10 seconds in a 2-goal game, and a whistle and a call, and the clock stops with 5.6. We're going to get the shortest power play in CM Hockey League history.
Yeah.
I want to say a quick thank you to our crew as we get ready with the final 5.6 seconds to wrap this one up. This was quite the effort from our team to pull this one off. We were not even sitting at our press box table 10 minutes before the game started, and that gives me a great chance to thank our production crew for pulling this off. The best in the business, and certainly the best in the business here in Southeast Asia. Executive producers Keith Mueller, camera crew Jin, Peng, Ellie, Opor, Tanya, and Sonia. Greg and Adam here with you, and we'll be here with you for the second game as well. Buzzer sounds, final score 4-2, Lexicon Lumberjacks with the win over Siam Mandalay. Greg, last thoughts on this one before we wrap up and move on to the second game.
All right, it was a close game, just as we said. Shots again, 27-21. So that's fairly close. It came down to the big scorers got the goals. Ken Kinborn, I felt, was the star of the game. He was solid all the way through, and he scored a nice goal. Yes, the goalies played well, but I'd give the star of the game to Ken if it was up to me. Of course, it's not, but if it was, I would go with Ken.
Weird game. 2-0 Lexicon Lumberjacks in the first period. 2-0 Lexicon Lumberjacks in the third period. 2-0 Siam Mandalay in the second period. Difference in the game for me. You pointed out the performance today from Ken Kinborn. Kim Erola, a difference maker every time he's on the ice. You saw the stars shine bright for Lexicon Lumberjacks, and they get their 6th win of the year. And with that, I'm off to find us some donuts.
So for our audience, a little different this time is because we're already in our second game. We will stay with it. You'll get the exciting looking at the Zamboni go around and round as Adam's getting his donut and the old men are going to go to the bathroom. And then we will be back for game 2.
I have to say, Keith, this is a nice Zamboni.
It is. That is. Yeah.
It's the Ferrari.
It is the Ferrari of Zambonis. It certainly is. So,
guys, that is when we're talking about staying alive for the next 20 minutes or so between these games. If we're already talking about the quality of the Zamboni, we are out of our blowout material. We're out of our time-killing material. So with that,
we're going to take off. We will take off. We'll see you in the second game. We're going to go to sign off on the first game, and then you'll get the excitement of. So sit back, relax in your lazy boy chair, watch the Zamboni go by. If you have a hot dog vendor coming into your house, well, grab a hot dog.
Because this second game is going to be exciting as well.
This is going to be exciting as well. Yes, the first place team and the last place team. You don't want to miss that.
There's
so stay with
surprises.
it.
Always surprises.
Always surprises. The where is always surprising.
Well, with all the work Keith did to get us on the air, I'm going to let you have the last word.
All right, go get us some donuts
and coffee.
Bye-bye.
And coffee.
Good night. We'll see you in the second game, which is really now.
This has been a presentation of Thailand TV.tv, winner of the SHL Golden Mike Award for Excellence in Broadcasting for Hockey Night in Thailand.
And for those of you staying with us, Keith Mueller with you, and the rest of the announce crew has run down for donuts, so stand by. And I'm going to leave you, and you can watch the Zamboni go by, and then we'll run an opening when we're getting closer to the game. You'll watch the Zamboni. So thanks for sticking with us, and game 2 will be coming up here shortly.
This is breaking news from ThailandTV.news. Now all the Thailand news is in one place. The latest reports from around the clock and around the world. Breaking Thailand news from all the world's top news sources, translated into 11 languages and updated 24 hours a day. Here's Ali with more.
ThailandTV.news has it all. The latest news, weather and sports updates, plus up-to-the-minute events listings and fun things to do in Thailand. And that's not all. There's also entertainment, lifestyle, and travel news, including the latest visa information. If it's happening in Thailand, you'll find it here at ThailandTV.news.
It's all here at ThailandTV.news. All the latest news, weather, sports, they even cover ice hockey. It's all done at ThailandTV.news. Yes, it's all the Thailand news, all in one place.
This is Thailand's biggest night for hockey. This is Hockey Night in Thailand.
And hello, everyone. Welcome back to Thailand International Ice Arena. We're ready for Game 2, and here's Adam and Greg to take you along. If you're ready. If you're not ready, well, when you're ready, you're ready.
We're ready to rock.
I was giving it what we call in the business, a beat to establish. I wanted people to soak in the crowd noise and the sound of the skates on the ice.
I'm sorry. Well, let's try it again. And now, here's Adam and Greg.
That was a lie. I was swallowing my donut.
Oh, okay. I didn't want you to choke on it. Then Greg and I are going to have to do this by ourselves, and that's just more than we can do it tonight.
17 minutes showing on the clock, so we are just about ready to begin our second game of our doubleheader. It's Aware and KCG. Adam Gottschalk, Greg Beatty, and of course the voice of Keith Mueller you just heard bringing us in, our on-site liner guy. So, Aware 2-7-0, KCG first place 8-0-1, but that's why they play the games on the ice. You never know what you could see, and if you're aware, what you'd like to see is your best effort of the season.
Yep, and hopefully we're going to see that out of Aware. They might surprise us.
I'm so sorry to jump all over you. I was just going to tell you that if you're watching at home, Aware is in the red, KCG's in the gray. And KCG with Jan Isaacson, the league's leading goal scorer, wearing 61. Okay, that's Jesse Starosta in there. He is not on my lineup card as a guy who was supposed to be playing today, and unless there's somebody wearing his jersey.
Yeah, it's just somebody wearing his jersey.
Okay, that's Sean Berg. That is going to be a little confusing for me today. I know Starosta's been the captain for KCG, has been dealing with a nagging injury, not able to go today, but the ghost of Jesse Starosta on the ice as we see his jersey at least in use. And 1 minute in, Aware with a 3-on-2 trying to punch back. It's been a tough start to the season for Aware. You know, they came into the year building their team around one of the league's top goal scorers, a guy named Oleg Kabakov. And actually, believe it or not, as Kabakov is not playing the rest of the way this year, he's suspended. He played 3 games. He's still the team's leading goal scorer in a tie, which just shows you how important he was and how hard it's been for Aware to really build a new identity. But at this point in the season, you kind of have to do it. You have to find who you are.
There's no doubt about it. Oleg was a true force out there, and he's a big loss for Aware. It's unfortunate that he is out for the season because he was such a threat the whole time.
If you're KCG, you play this game not only without your captain Starasta, but you play without Roman Larin, who's not in the lineup today. So that's 2 big guys who are not in there. So Aware, you know, there's a chance to surprise some people, but you have to start better than that. That is a tic-tac-toe goal. Paul Stoddart tucked it home for KCG on a gorgeous pass from Nick Lampson. 3rd goal of the year for Stoddart, and just like that, it's 1-0 KCG.
Yeah, that was a nice tap in by Paul Stoddart, and again a nice pass from Nick, who's just racking up the points once again.
The number 1 scorer in the league is Jan Isaacson in a tie with Nick Lampson, and if Isaacson did not get an assist on that one, then Lampson just took over, because he definitely got an assist there. So that would be the 21st point of the year for Lampson, who is also 2nd in the league in goals with 11. Good to see, by the way, that Jan Isaacson, and again, I was not here last week, but 2 weeks ago, concussion for Isaacson as he got hit into the boards head first, and it's really nice to see him back and playing capability. Here's a look at tonight's away team. Aware, the guys in red. You can see it on the bottom of your screen. So, as a goalkeeper, Greg?
Yes.
Tell me about Jimmy McAleer. He's one of the youngest guys in this league, getting to start in goal for Aware. He just was the one who picked that last puck out of the air. It's intimidating for a young, and when I say young, what is he, 16, 17 years old?
I think he's 17, and you know what? He just made a nice glove save, and that's going to give him a lot of confidence going in for the rest of this period and the rest of the game. Nice save, Jimmy.
You're playing against some real star players, but you start picking pucks out of the air like that confidently. As soon as, not that he's, I don't know him. I can't tell you what his personal confidence level is like. That was a confident play.
It was a nice save, and even when he gets a few goals against him, which most of them are not his fault, he doesn't get rattled, and I really, really like that about Jimmy. He keeps his peace of mind throughout the whole game, even when the scores gets a little bit lopsided.
This is the 3rd start this year for Jimmy McAleer. Before this game, he'd allowed 17 goals on 64 shots. We'll tell you about the KCG side of the goalie matchup in just a moment. And actually, as the puck comes back out to neutral ice, we'll do it now. Tell me about Dom Vollenweider.
Well, his reputation is he's probably the best goalie in the SHL right now. I like all the goalies, but I'd say that he's got the edge right now in terms of his performance. He's just he plays the position well, makes the big saves, and he's truly a good guy to watch. That
does give us a chance to give you the roster as you see Dom Vollenweider, number 33, on your screen. Gabor Toth, the other half of this 2-headed monster in net for KCG, is another strong goalkeeper. And also, as I can see the smile, I've never met the guy, but every single time I bring up the name Gabor Toth, I get that same smile from people. He's a big personality.
He's a big guy and a big personality.
And a good goalkeeper.
And a super nice guy, but very talkative, has an opinion about everything. Whether you want that opinion or not, you're going to get it. But I love the guy. He's very helpful. Super nice guy behind all the hard shell that most people see.
Coming into this game, Dom Vollenweider, Thai citizen, 5 games played, 113 saves, on 121 shots allowed. That's a crazy save percentage of .934 and a goals against average of just 1.6. Those are NHL numbers.
Those are NHL numbers. Of course, he has a good defense in front of him, not taking any credit away from him. But they do have KCG does have a solid defense.
We have a whistle, and this may be well, I thought the goal had come dislodged, but I think the face-off is being brought out to neutral ice. Doesn't look like we have a penalty call. Yeah, okay, so Keith is telling me in my ear it's a hand pass, which would make sense for the face-off coming out here. I can't believe we're 7 minutes into the game, and I haven't even had a chance to tell you about what I brought upstairs between periods. But now, I'm a big Tim Hortons fan, to the point that apparently it's such a running joke for Keith that he's created a new graphic. Patrick Forstner carries it in and overlaps for Aware with Nico Cadiz. Could not get the shot away. Wait, this is a new one on me. They've catered today's game. We have donuts with, I believe this is maple and bacon.
Now, I saw the bacon, and I had a pass on that one.
I brought this upstairs not because it's what I really want.
Oh, you brought it? Oh,
but
yeah, we may have to try that.
Here's a little breakaway from David Bohr. That one was back-checked nicely by the Aware defense. 1-0 our score, KCG leading Aware. I am going to try this, and I'm going to try it on the air.
Hey, this is what's going to look like when you try it, too. There's your crazy donut guys. And, of course, subscribe to YouTube, too.
That was a Nick Lampson pass looking for Grant Partha Sarathi, who's in the lineup today. Could not get a stick on it. Lampson, beautiful dangle stick handling his way in, but no shot there. Here's Phelps rocketing one. That's blocked in front. For Aware, obviously not a great start to the season, but there have been some bright spots, and one of them is 86 Patrick Forstner, another one of those guys like Kinborn who we talked about last game. Every time you watch him play, he does something special.
Yeah, he's just a beautiful skater. Pass the puck, shoot the puck, makes big plays, always a threat, and a joy to watch.
And that was 88, not 86, Ernesto Bauer, who managed to maintain control and held it in momentarily, but it does trickle back out to neutral ice. We have a few subs. Mankorn Sukwabun is number 6 today for Aware. He's a fantastic hockey player and a nice addition to their lineup as they're a little bit short-handed. Seb Verdi is number 10, and Thor Chartsuan wearing number 16. Those are the 3 subs in the lineup for Aware. KCG has 3 substitutes as well, although I don't have details on the guy wearing number 5. All I have is a text message saying Major. So we have no last name or first name. Maybe it could be either one. You remember John Major? Like, it could be a last name, it could be a first name, it could be a nickname.
I only know him as Major as well, but he's a major force out there, that's for sure. He's a young player.
You were telling me that you haven't done this very much before. That was a veteran broadcaster joke right there.
But he's a great player, young player. He'll definitely be a superstar.
It is Isaacson on the draw, flanked by Vic and Limpinpet for KCG. And it's Vic who has it. Vic gets a shot away. McAleer positioning perfectly, makes the save. And there's a takeaway. Limpinpet had to just end up right on his stick. Isaacson fires one wide. That was nearly a costly turnover there. Vic has it on his tape again. Man, it is a really tough time for Aware to clear the zone here. Twice now turned over right in front of the cage, dangerously. But so far, no damage done. A 1-0 KCG lead and looking to build on it. Vic has it, goes back out to the blue line where Limpinpet was waiting for it. That shot swallowed by McAleer, who covers and gets the whistle.
Making some great saves out there. Those are tough shots. Those point-blank shots from the slot are really hard on the goalie, and he came up big.
You need to get a little more help than that. Those are 2 turnovers right in front of the net on that possession. But 7 saves on the first 8 shots from the young McAleer. Nice performance. James Speck, who's the other goalkeeper for Aware, I know is also somebody who has spent time as a goalie coach. Nico Cadiz just got a puck to the face, and he'll skate off. Devin Michael takes his place. I was going to say, James Speck has been a goalie coach in the past, and I know it's important to him not just to play, but to develop the young McAleer, and he's happy to step aside for a few games to give McAleer some reps here.
Yeah, James, he's from Toronto. He spent some time up in China, I believe, for a couple of years, and he loves to coach, and he's very supportive of all the Thai hockey players here, and he's doing a nice coaching job.
He and I were in China at the same time. I don't think I ever crossed paths with him, but I know the clubs that he worked with. Forstner was lining up for a one-timer, but the puck was deflected before it reached his stick. We're down to the final 5.5 minutes here in the first period. Pretty entertaining game so far, but it has been Jimmy McAleer, the goalkeeper for Aware, standing on his head that's preserved this as a tight one. Here is the goal scorer, Stoddart, trying to get his second of the game and looking to tuck it home on a wraparound, but he couldn't find the net. And going back to collect is Stoddart himself, but taken away from him by Aware's 16, Thor Chartsuan, one of the subs in this game. 1-0 our score, 9 shots for KCG, 4 for Aware in the early going. But if you're Aware, you gotta be reasonably happy with how this game has started. I think the longer this stays close, the more you start gaining confidence and realizing that this could be a game that you can stay in.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly got to be happy with the score. It's only 1-0. But, you know, Dom at the other end for KCG, he's not getting a lot of action right now. Again, like you said, only 4 shots. So he's going to get cold. So that's the right time to get the nice shot away when you have that chance, because he's going to be cold now.
KCG 8-0-1, riding a 7-game winning streak following their loss to Lexicon Lumberjacks early in the season. What is it that makes this team so balanced and effective?
Well,
other than the fact that they have really good players.
So they've got a solid 3 lines. They've got the star players like Jan Isaacson and Nick Lampson, but they've got depth all the way through their 3 lines, plus a great goalie.
Here's Fowley with it, his shot off the skate of Phelps and back out to neutral ice. Yeah, every phase of the game it seems like KCG does well. That was angled towards the front. It was attempted to get a deflection from Ernesto Bauer, but nothing doing. Now quickly back the other way, KCG, and sticking his goalie stick out to kick it aside was McAleer. 1-0 our score. Lexicon, we just did that game. KCG leading Aware. In the first game, it was a 4-2 win for Lexicon Lumberjacks. That's a nice pass to the doorstep. Somehow kept out by McAleer. He's still down on the ice, but no whistle comes, and he'll try and find his footing while his team is able to get a clear momentarily. But Brandon Vick chases after it and nearly had a lot of empty ice in front of him. But nice defensive play getting back by Harrison Oztamel, the Aware captain, keeps that one from being an opportunity for KCG. Harrison Oztamel, the right winger wearing number 12, leading goal scorer for Aware with 6 on the year in a 3-way tie. That's a glove save on a deflection. Forstner has 6, Oztamel has 6, and the aforementioned Kabakov has 6 in just the 3 games he played. Aware today, missing a bunch of guys, but the one that I noticed not on my score sheet, who's typically one of their top offensive players, Matthew Maillard, not in the lineup in this one.
Okay, Matthew's not with us tonight, okay. And of course the other gentleman on the other team, Jesse Starosta, yes, he has a pinched nerve in his neck.
Oh, that one hit McAleer in the face mask, and we will get a whistle.
Yep.
That might have caught him. Okay, you're a goalkeeper. I'll let you describe where. I don't know how those. Where are the weak spots in that mask? But tell me what happened there.
Okay, actually, I don't think there are any weak spots in the mask, and I think he's going to be okay. He took his mask off, but he's putting it back on. He's going to be okay. He probably just got a little bit of a shock.
Would that be, to use a medical term, getting your bell rung?
He did get it rung there, but he's ready to step back in, and he's going to line up for the next face-off to his left.
Hey, I mean, look, in the stat sheet, again, that counts as save number 10 for young Jimmy McAleer in this game.
As they say, that's what's using your head.
Face-off won by Aware, but not cleanly. Patrick Forstner races after it with Phelps, and he'll try and get back on side as Aware is able to corral it and control it at the line, but Ono has it taken off his stick by David Bohr. What a tough fight from Bohr, coming up cleanly, firing a shot, and it's off McAleer's shoulder and over the net. David Bohr just would not be denied. He fought his way through two guys to get a hold of that puck, and loose in front of the net, but swept away by Aware.
Yep, David Bohr, he's a big bull out there, and he plays rough. He uses his elbows. He positions himself well, and he usually gets a goal every one or two games.
Forstner has it. He'll overlap for Aware with Verdi, Seb Verdi, wearing 10 today. But no shot registered, and we reach the final minute of the... Oh, that's a collision that turns the puck over. Paul Stoddart, the beneficiary. But thankfully for Aware, they were able to race back and get in the passing lane defensively. That was nearly catastrophic. Nice job from McAleer getting his stick out to deflect that one away. A 3-on-2. I'm not sure if Aware realizes that they have numbers, and Forstner just snaps one himself from about 30 feet. Maybe not the best look that Aware could have gotten had they realized that they did have 3-on-2 on that possession.
Yeah, and usually Patrick Forstner, he will pass the puck, but on that occasion he shot it, and it was an easy save for Dom.
Final 15 seconds here in an entertaining opening period that's seen only one goal registered, but a whole lot of chances. Brandon Vick, he can score in a hurry. He'll fire a backhand wide. Stations, this is going to be a local commercial break coming up. So in 2, 1, and now, get ready to run the break here. This is your local break, and we're back with the second period after this. It's Thailand's biggest night for hockey.
This is breaking news from
Hockey Night in Thailand.
ThailandTV.news. Now all the Thailand news is in one place. The latest reports from around the clock and around the world. Breaking Thailand news from all the world's top news sources, translated into 11 languages and updated 24 hours a day. Here's Ali with more.
ThailandTV.news has it all. The latest news, weather, and sports updates, plus up-to-the-minute events listings and fun things to do in Thailand. And that's not all. There's also entertainment, lifestyle, and travel news, including the latest visa information. If it's happening in Thailand, you'll find it here at ThailandTV.news.
It's all here at ThailandTV.news. All the latest news, weather, sports, they even cover ice hockey. It's all done at ThailandTV.news. Yes, it's all the Thailand news, all in one place.
Can I be honest about this? That maple bacon donut is really good.
Is it really?
That is no joke good.
Well, maybe then I'll get brave because I've been looking at that chocolate bacon Burger King Whopper, which didn't sound so good, but I did see that. They've been the chocolate burger. Have you seen that in Bangkok?
I'm not going to try that. That is.
Well, I like chocolate, I like bacon, I like burgers, but somehow together that doesn't seem like, the direction I wanted to go,
Hey, there's a hockey game going on here.
No, maybe we can get a burger.
It's 1-0 our score. It's a KCG lead on Aware. An early goal in this game from Paul Stoddart made it a 1-0 lead. But Aware has hung tough. They've gotten some pretty good goalkeeping. Now they need to look for some offensive opportunities. And for KCG, just methodically continuing to press. And their chances are going to come, especially when this guy's on the ice, the one who has the puck right now, 61, Jan Isaacson. Adam Gottschalk, along with Greg Beatty and the entire crew here from Bangkok, and we're so happy to have you along on this Sunday night. Often I say, a beautiful Sunday night for hockey, but it's not beautiful because it's soupy and hot and wet. This is absolutely gorgeous. We have this nice sort of cold snap here in Bangkok. I mean, it feels the same outside and inside the arena.
Well, they say there's 3 seasons in Thailand now. There's the wet season, there's the dry season, and there's the hockey season.
Yeah, man, you're just full of them tonight.
Well, I heard another one. There were 3 seasons in Thailand. There's hot, really hot, and lady hot. I don't know. It's the 3 I've heard.
Go eat my donut. You guys.
We'll just we're here all week.
It's comedy night in Bangkok, and
That's the burger talking.
Yeah, please tip your waitress.
Yeah, I think we're getting a sugar rush from the donuts, actually.
So 14 shots in the first period from KCG, 4 for Aware. That's not going to cut it. Aware has been defensively playing pretty well, a couple of turnovers that they were able to get away with. But now the question is, how do you solve KCG's defense, which is the underrated part of that team's game? You know, the scoring gets all the press. KCG, number 1 in the league in goals with 60, number 1 in the league in goals allowed with only 22.
Well, yeah, they're going to have to crack that D and get the shots on Dom, but they're not getting the shots. They've only had 4 shots.
That was a nice play from Alistair Fawcett racing in to try and hold the line, but couldn't quite do it. We get a whistle for an offsides. Again, if you're just tuning in, KCG is wearing the gray, trimmed in black and white, which mathematically speaking, by definition, means the other team is Aware, and they're the ones in the red uniforms. It's Patrick Forstner, 3-on-3, back quickly. Forstner counterpunching. He'll spin around the net, carrying it himself, looking for somewhere to go, and instead is Lamson taking it off of his stick. And Nick Lamson, you saw that for a moment, looking for a breakaway himself. Instead, he just will do it the hard way and carry in, trying to start a possession, but there's a turnover, and Aware will punch back. It's Thor Chartsuwan, 16. He's not a typical roster player for Aware, but he's been buzzing today. A couple of pretty nice plays from Chartsuwan when he's been on the ice. And now it's another sub, Seb Verdi, who's battling in the corner with Michael White chasing back, trying to get open in front of the net, but nothing doing, no shot on that possession. And the puck now being fought over in the corner, but it stays Aware. Puck at the blue line, holding it in and firing one, looking for a deflection, was Ono Susutikul, but blocked in front. And here comes KCG. We are 4 minutes into the second. That was a nifty play. And Stoddard, is that an own goal?
That's an own goal.
My goodness, how heartbreaking is that for Aware? You know, the momentum carried the player into the goalkeeper, and that puck just trickled in. That's a tough break for Jimmy McAleer, who played a really good game so far, and he's going to give up one that, you know, I know his teammates really wish that they could have back on his behalf.
Yeah, I certainly won't call that a soft goal because it wasn't really Jimmy's fault. And he made the first save, the initial save was a nice one. But yeah, his defenseman was just in the wrong place.
Yeah, I was screened from seeing where the contact came from, but you certainly can't fault the goalkeeper. That it's one of those things where it's just a, you know, you can't really play against the top team in the league and get bad luck, but that was bad luck.
Yep.
2-0 now, KCG. I didn't hear the announcement of who got credit for the goal, but there will be somebody on KCG's roster who is going to be given that goal on the stat sheet.
Yeah, unfortunately, Adam, I didn't hear it either.
That's okay. We'll find out later. But for now, 2-0, and that changes the complexion of this game. Jan Isaacson makes it 3-0. The league's top goal scorer shows why every time he touches the puck, he's the biggest threat in this country to score a goal. Jan Isaacson, number 15, and he rips that one home. Individual effort from number 61, and by the time this year's over, he might have 61.
Yeah, a great shot, great play. Again, Jimmy had no chance on that one. Unfortunately, it's 2 shots in a row that have gone in, but again, none of Jimmy's fault. But now he's got to be thinking about the next shot.
Jan Isaacson, league's leading goal scorer, puts some more separation between himself and the rest of the Siam Hockey League with his 15th. And if he got an assist earlier in this game, which I'm not sure he did, I think we upstairs unofficially credited him with one. But if he did, that'll be 22 points already on the season in the 10th game for KCG.
Well, one thing about points, Brandon Vick, last game we thought he had 99 points, but he actually got 100 points. So he's at 100 points in his SHL career.
Nick Lamson, quick snapshot off his own face-off win, but that one went high and wide. That shot deflected. That was rifled in from the blue line, and Alex Phelps. But Aware gets it back. If you're Aware, you really need something positive to happen this period. Patrick Forstner flinging one towards White, but a little bit behind him. 3-0 the score. We have seen teams overcome deficits like this, but doing it against KCG is going to be a stiff challenge for anybody.
Yep, an errant pass there by Dave. Sends it back into the end for Phelps to pick up.
You know, Aware's challenge at this point is going to be just putting pucks on net. Only 6 shots so far in this hockey game, and we are rapidly approaching the midway mark, which will come in about 45 seconds. Lamson by himself, gorgeous individual effort. The goalkeeper, McAleer, didn't see it, but he did have his pads on the ice, and that puck stayed out, and he'll get the whistle.
And the save. Yep, so he's up to 19 shots now. 3 goals, none of which I felt were his fault.
3-0 score. We're under 9 minutes left here in the second period. Adam Gottschalk and Greg Beattie. And the last of the doubleheader games for this week. We saw a beauty in the first one today, but KCG, every game important. Doesn't matter that they are officially in regulation unbeaten, 8-0-1. If you start seeing Lexicon Lumberjacks making a run, and they're now 6-3 with that win earlier today, every game important. Pressure could come in a hurry on the league's #1 team, KCG. That's a shot ripped, but does not get through on net. It was Chart Suwan who was the one to take that shot. That one jammed in by Verdi, but easy pickings for Vollenweider, who kept his blocker pad down and made that save. 2 shots on the possession so far for Aware. One of them official on net. Forstner has it, but poke checked away by Lampson. These are 2 good hockey players matched up on that possession, Forstner and Lampson. That one was floated towards the cage, just looking for some screen or traffic or deflection, but no harm done. And here's KCG to counterpunch. Nick Lampson, 17, he's everywhere, offensively and defensively, and you see him hold his hand up. He's gassed. He's been out there for a while, and he'll come off, and a quick change for KCG. They're playing today without the captain, Jesse Starasta. This is kind of a fundamental question that maybe our viewers don't care as much as I do about. Just curious, is it the captain or who calls for line changes in the Siam Hockey League?
I think they go by 1-minute shifts ideally, so they know that when a minute's up, they should really start to look at the bench and get the next player out there. So it's just on their own accord, but they know 1-minute shifts are the norm.
I'm glad I asked. That's actually pretty interesting. We are going to get a whistle there, and a face-off will come in the offensive zone for Aware. And that gives us a chance for the first time in this game to tell you what you're seeing on your screen other than the hockey game. It's me. It's a program called OTR. Find us on YouTube at youtube.com/OTR on the road, something I'm very proud of and we've worked really hard on to give you the best we can possibly do with the stories behind the people, the moments, and more often than not, the foods that make Southeast Asia such a cool place and such an interesting place with a pretty incredible history. The new one coming out tomorrow is going to be on Myanmar and Burmese food culture, which is a really fun one to research and something I didn't really know much about going in. But that being said, we are very happy to be partnering with Siam Hockey League's television partner, Thailand TV, so keep an eye out for OTR. And always check what's coming up on ThailandTV.tv.
Yes.
.tv.
Hey, ThailandTV.tv.
I didn't mean to. Hi, I'm Ron Burgundy. the question mark was a subtle look at Keith here, but yes, ThailandTV.tv. Anyway, for now, back to hockey. 5.5 minutes remaining in the second period. There is a whistle and an icing call, and the faceoff will come back to the other end.
Adam, you mentioned Jesse Starosta. I was talking with him earlier today. He does have a pinched nerve in his neck or his shoulder, and he's got like a, tingly and numbness and pain all throughout his I think it's his right arm. So I think he's going to be out for a couple of weeks, and he may even have to go in for surgery. So we'll have to keep an eye out for him.
Well, that would really be. Let's all hope that does not end up being the case, because Jesse, one of the really good guys in this league, and obviously a good hockey player as well. But he has, as the captain of what has thus far been the league's best team, it would just kill him not to be out there. This is not the team or the season that you want to miss if you're Jesse Starosta.
Yeah, he's such a competitor.
He'll be back. That's a gorgeous little passing play. The puck behind the net. Was not able to get a clean shot away. It bounced over the stick of Nico Cadiz. That was a pretty good look for Aware. Down 3 goals. Here's Tanlim Pinpet for KCG. Just throws one towards the cage where it's stopped by McAleer. And a whistle and a face-off.
Well, there's no doubt that Jimmy McAleer is holding Aware in the game. I mean, it's 3-0. But if he wasn't playing, I think this is his best game of the season so far. And if he wasn't playing so well, it could easily be 6-0.
He has been the reason why it was. I mean, you take that second goal, the own goal that shouldn't have happened, you take that one off, and this is still a tight hockey game, and it is because, as you said, the performance of Jimmy McAleer. There's a couple of just, what do they call it, 10 bell saves in this one for him. Is that the expression?
Yeah.
I don't think I've never
heard it for a while, but
I've never used it before. I think that's one that I just sort of filed away a long time ago. It said one day I'm going to find a way to use that expression. That one.
Oh, no.
Oh man, that's another nice save. Just through a screen, sticking the foot out and blocking the shot.
He's hot.
Nice to see for the young Jimmy McAleer, but he would like some offensive help. And Aware is down to 20 minutes of game time left to find a way to make it happen. Aware has not say the least goals in the league this season. They came in with 32. Their issue has actually been more defensive than offensive. Their goal scoring output has been about what you'd hope.
Yep.
It's been more than anything, it's been the goals allowed. They were last in the league with 52 coming into this one.
I mean, they have 11 shots on goal, but none of them have tested Dom yet.
That one snapped wide by Stoddart. Paul Stoddart, before this game, had just 2 goals on the season. The Canadian forward for KCG. That's his 3rd scoring chance. That's an A-plus opportunity in this game. He cashed in the first one of them. Pretty nice game from Paul Stoddart. I guess he's the beneficiary of the looks that might have gone to Starosta. So if you're wondering what KCG would have done with Starosta out of the lineup, now we see some more opportunities on the top line from Stoddart, and he's taken advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a great athlete. He's the athletic director at the American School of Bangkok, and he's one of the few players that actually has a 6-pack. I mean, the guy is super fit, and he's showing his fitness on the ice tonight.
Going to make a joke. I don't know are we allowed to joke about things like Chong and Singha, or is that not something that we should talk about on this broadcast? I don't know what our standards are for online streaming.
It's not so much standards as there's some many laws about alcohol and advertising.
There we go. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't make that joke then.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, you say 6-pack and we take our minds go in different directions.
I know the 6-pack you're talking about.
70 seconds remaining in this second period. It has been a tight, tense hockey game, but KCG pulling away, and Aware will look to get something before the end of this second frame. A reminder to our network affiliates, by the way, that this is going to be a local break coming up at the end of this period. So it's your commercial break if you are board-opping and producing. And if you are board-opping and producing for us, I want to say thank you. Anyone who's spending their Sunday night, Sunday morning, Monday morning, whatever time zone you might be in, turnaround shot from Isaacson, ripped just wide. Whatever time zone you're in, we appreciate all your time and hard work and effort to help us make this happen. That goes for our hardworking crew here as well, just the best in the business. And even when we were going through that chaotic transition between the previous event here and our own hockey broadcast. The camera operators for our team, just the best attitude, ready to go, stayed focused and pulled this off, so thanks to all of them. That is the final seconds ticking off the second period. We've got 17 minutes left to play. A 3-0 KCG lead. This is Thailand's biggest night for hockey, Hockey Night in Thailand.
Let's go! I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout, let's go! Let's go! Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on, so turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Okay, so 51 plus 34, 85 minutes of hockey down, 17 left. That's the math I was trying to do quickly on the fly as we come back to the third period.
Yep, for both games tonight, and we've got just under 17 minutes of running time, unless there's a 2-goal difference. I think the last 2 minutes is stop time.
I was an English literature major, so when we start doing math here, you should probably just take the mic and start talking, because it's going to be my processing and buffering time will take a while. Nick Lampson lights the lamp. Goal number 12, and a rocket shot into the top left corner. Lampson makes it 4-0, and a gorgeous individual effort. He was due. All respect to Aware, and as much as we'd like to see this being a close game, it is nice to see Lampson cash in, because he's played a fantastic hockey game. Good for him to get rewarded.
Yep, and KCG starting to run away with the game now. It's 4-0. Let's watch the continued sportsmanship of Aware, and hopefully they're going to remain sportsmen, because this is where you can get a little frustrated when the score starts to get spread like this at 4-0.
That was Bauer who stick-handled his way into a scoring chance for Aware, but quickly back the other way in a second consecutive possession with a goal from Lampson. That is number 13 and number 2 in 60 seconds. Nick Lampson makes it a 5. The scoreboard hadn't even put up goal number 4 yet, and it's already 5-0. Wow. Lampson gets back-to-back goals on the same shift for KCG.
That's how quick Nick Lampson is, and Justice DeRosa was telling me earlier today that one of their strategies is making sure that Jan and Nick are on fire tonight, and certainly half of that duo is on fire. Of course, Jan has a goal as well.
And it's not done yet. The same line still on the ice, and they nearly cashed in another one. Lim Pinpet had his stick down waiting for it. Sorry, they did change lines. That was 7, not 17. I was screened. So it was not going to be a single shift hat trick, which is something that I've never seen before. But yeah, Nick Lampson came into the game 11 goals. He's got 2 more in this one. The forward, Thai citizen, second in the league in goals behind this man, Isaacson, number 61 in gray. 5-0 to score, 5 goals on 24 shots for KCG. There's a turnover taken back. Here's Isaacson, and he scores. I think Jan Isaacson started to worry that his teammate was gaining on him in the goals race. So he said, you know what, I need one more to feel comfortable.
Well, and there you go. I mean, like I said, Jesse was telling me that these two guys need to be on fire tonight, and I mean, they've scored the last 3 or 4 goals by themselves.
The stars are shining bright here on Hockey Night in Thailand. Jan Isaacson, 16 goals on the year. Nick Lampson, 13. That's 29 goals between those two players. Aware has 32 for their entire team.
Well, I mean, KCG, it just goes to show that they are the dominant team in the league thus far. And they're showing it tonight.
What is their kryptonite? For a team that's now 8-0-1, going to be 9-0-1 when this one's done. You know, obviously they lost at the beginning of this season to Lexicon Lumberjacks. They're not unbeatable. They look pretty close to it at times this season. How do you game plan against KCG when they're firing all cylinders?
You've got to shut down that first line. I mean, they have depth on all 3 lines, but you really need to shut down the first line. And once you do that, then you got to score on Dom. He's probably the best goalie in the league.
That was poke-checked away. We had a couple of opportunities. David Bohr just got run over at the blue line. I think that's going to be not a call because he was intentionally holding his ground, trying to keep the puck in. Here's Harrison Ostemel, who rips one that's off the chest protector of Vollenweider. It's going to take a pretty good effort to beat the league's highest scoring and statistically best defensive team. That one got a deflection in front but couldn't sneak through. Ends up in the glove of Vollenweider for the whistle. That shot was off the stick of Thor Chartsuan.
Okay, one thing about Dom, I mean, I don't think he's been fully tested tonight, but just the way he covered up that rebound, he does not give rebounds out. Smart play, smart play.
Just in case the goalkeepers from our first game today happen to be watching by now, I think we can both agree that that was, on both sides, an extremely well goal kept. Is that, can you say a game was goal kept?
We will say it's goal kept, and I mean, it was a low-scoring game, and that is evidence of how well the goalies played. And there were quite a few shots on goal, and both goalies were tested heavily all 3 periods.
Dream and Lance Parker, both of them, we made the point during that. The reason why I bring it up now is because the storyline of that game to me was also no rebounds. You saw a lot of one-shot possessions, and that's it. And that's what made that game so compelling and down to the wire, and from our perspective, a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and this one is too, although even we have the 6-goal spread, but there's still some entertainment to the game, and I think Aware's out of it, but I'd like to see them score a goal anyway.
Aware just, you get the feeling that there was a tipping point somewhere towards the end of the first period here where in a 1-0 game, Aware playing a really strong game, if they'd been able to find just one odd man opportunity, maybe get a power play, maybe something happens in your favor, that puck's still loose in front, and I think the whistle is going to sound before it crosses the line. It is over the line, but I don't think that's going to be credited as a goal. The whistle was there first.
The referee's pointing to the circle to the right of the goalie, so I don't think it is going to be a goal.
Well, what I was saying, though, is that, I think there was that, it felt like there was a little bit of time in this game where one break could have actually made this. I mean, it felt like KCG never really lost their composure. They never tightened up. They knew that they just had to keep plugging away. But this was a tense game for a lot of, say, the second half of the first period into the beginning of the second.
Well, I think the turning point was the goal that was scored by Aware. Unfortunately, it was an own goal, and I really think that was the turning point.
Here's Jan Isaacson steamrolling in. He's looking to pass. Now he'll just fire a shot off, and that one caught the pipe. Isaacson, who has a couple. Nothing on that one, and there's a steal from Lim Pinpad, who will just give it right back to Isaacson. Now 3-on-2. KCG leading by 6. Nice passing, but Lamson tried maybe one too many passes. If he'd snapped that shot away, he had an empty cage.
I think if the score wasn't 6-0, he would have shot it. But I think he's, at this point in the game, when they're up 6-0, he'll do the extra pass and give the other guys a chance to score as well.
Okay, I mean, you want sportsmanship. I want to see a natural hat trick. The 2 goals already this period from Nick Lamson.
Well, he's still got 8.5 minutes, and he just might do it in another 1 or 2.
These games fly by. It is hard to believe we're already in the back half of period number 3. But before this gets too far away from me, as Fowley got that first shot blocked, it ends up back on his stick, but he couldn't get the second shot away. Greg, it's a pleasure to do it. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope we get to do this again a lot more often.
Well, I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it because I'm working with some professionals up here in the broadcast booth, and also the players out there playing entertaining hockey.
This is a league that you've been a part of for quite a while, obviously. Is there a time in the season? That's not an age joke. This is not an old league. It's a long season. This season, you look at the number of games played, and it surprised me the first time I saw the schedule. Oh, my goodness, this season goes on until what, May? April, May?
Yes, you're right. With I think a little break during the Songkran week. But I just started playing a couple of years ago in this league. When I first came to Thailand 30 years ago, I didn't play for 28 years.
Bring it up because I would say in a season that goes on until, pretty well into the summer here in Thailand, at least weather-wise, you're just beginning now to get to the point in the season where teams start to try and find their identities, and you don't feel like you're out of it no matter who you are, no matter what your record says you are, but this is starting to get to that point in the year now where you do see some separation.
I was just going to use that word. Yeah, the separation is emerging. But there's always surprises. Sometimes the fourth team in the standings has done some strange things in the playoffs. So it's never over until the fat lady sings, as they say, in terms of the season. The SHL is full of surprises. Because it is a long season.
Down to the game's final 6 minutes. Adam Gottschalk and Greg Beatty here with the final few minutes of the second game of the doubleheader between Aware and KCG. I remember what I was about to do. I was looking up the schedule for next week's matchups. And hey, what an amazing segue that happens to be, as the graphic has just shown up on the screen.
You asked for it, you get it, Adam. You're the star.
Is that an automatic thing that I said it and it just showed up, or did you actually press a button?
It's all done with AI now. I'm not even here, really. I just got to watch it do itself.
It's hard to believe that next week is already February games, but it will be February, and KCG Lexicon Lumberjacks, the first one, at 8:30 next week. I am really excited for that one, especially after Lexicon Lumberjacks gaining a little bit more confidence and momentum. I thought that first shot was in. It looked like that was in. No protest or argument, and that may be some sportsmanship just by virtue of being up by 6, or it may be that we were wrong up here, but it really looked like that first one was, it came in, bounced back out, no?
It looked like it went in twice. But you know what? We don't have any goal judges here, so the red light definitely didn't go on because there is no red light. And we play on.
All right. So I'm not crazy. You saw that too, yeah?
Yes.
All right. I mean, look, it's all academic at this point, but just so that I know that I'm not completely insane. Brandon Vick, nice lead for Lim Pinpet, but just a little bit behind him. And we'll see Aware try at least and get something on the scoreboard for the sake of not being shut out. That was Devin Michael who ripped that one, but Michael gets a second look, that one wide and high. 22 shots officially for Aware. 22 save shutout to this point from Vollenweider, but I can't really say that he has been tested on a lot of high degree of difficulty saves. Would you agree?
Right. I don't want to jinx him here. It looks like he's heading for the shutout for sure. He hasn't been tested, but when
sorry to interrupt you. Here's a 3-on-0 developing. Lampson with Bohr. Pass across. Bohr scores. That could have gone 3 different ways with that for Nick Lampson. He could have dropped it back. He could have taken it himself, or he could have threaded a perfect pass just on the boot of David Bohr. That was what he chose, and it's goal number 7 for Bohr. Goal number 7 for KCG as well.
Yep, very unselfish play by Nick Lampson to pass it over when he could have scored and got the hat trick.
We are quickly approaching the end of this one, and it's a 7-0 lead for KCG. The long passing touchdown. No, wrong sport. That's later tonight. Sorry. I got confused. That's in a couple of hours.
No, that's about 4 hours, yeah.
Nick Lampson just passes up an opportunity for that hat trick. Some sportsmanship there from KCG. But this one at this stage is just going to be about what the final score is going to be. Here's Patrick Forstner. Forstner ends up getting the pass on the stick of Bauer, but he could not get it away, and it's in the net, and you see the frustration there. Nick Lampson fires his stick all the way to the bench as he, I think, feels personally responsible for not clearing that one, which would have been a shutout for Vollenweider, but it's still going to be a win for KCG.
Well, I feel a bit responsible too, because I did mention the goose egg. I did mention he was going for the shutout, and
I always feel dumb when I go back and watch these broadcasts after we're done. I'm going to go back probably later tonight and watch some of this. And sometimes I'll sit here and I'll analyze a goal. And then when I have the benefit of actually watching it, I'll realize that I was completely incorrect. We don't have replay up here. Sometimes we don't see things perfectly as it happens. So I hesitate to describe that. I don't think, from first glance of watching it, I think that one was sort of an own goal as well. I think that was kicked in off of either the skate or the back of the stick of a defensive player. But I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, all of a sudden it was just in the net,
right?
In the net, yeah. I think it surprised Dom Vollenweider as well.
Hey, by the way, as we tick down towards the last minute, and Lim Pinpet's shot is turned aside. I want to thank our production crew this evening. I've already talked about their incredible effort. Nice save by McAleer on Vic.
Unbelievable. Oh, breakaway.
And here's Forstner, hesitates, and that was probably a little too fancy. Forstner now rips one that hits Isaacson in the face. He can't catch a break. Poor Jan Isaacson. Every time we see a game now, something hits Jan Isaacson in the face. In that case, it's the puck. Got him up high. He's okay. He's obviously in some pain, and he'll skate off. But in the last minute of a 6-goal game, it's a shame to see that. One of the real good guys and good players in this league. Let me quickly finish this, by the way, as we have the timeout for the injury. Keith, thank you so much for holding this together and somehow pulling off a miracle in getting us on the air against all odds, and this will be a story one day.
Well, you're welcome. Yeah.
That is best told over a cold adult beverage or two, which apparently
we can't say on the air.
We can't say on the air, so we'll. If orange juice is an adult beverage, I drink more of that than I did when I was a kid.
And with something else, yes.
Executive producer is that man, Keith Mueller, who is the reason why we are on the air right now. Camera crew, Jin, Pang, Ellie, Opor, Tanya, and Sonia. It is a pleasure to work with all of you, and thank you so much. And Greg, pleasure to work with you as well.
Adam, I've really enjoyed tonight up here in the broadcast booth. 2 great games, working with great people, a great team of people. It's been very enjoyable.
Jan Isaacson being tended to, and he'll leave the bench, and you see him walking back towards the training room. I guess he's got some, I don't want to speculate on the nature of the injury. He seems okay. He caught a puck, it looked like on the jaw.
Yeah, I don't think it attacked the teeth. I think he's got all his teeth in place, and I didn't see any blood on the ice, so that's a good sign.
Well, with 45 seconds left in regulation of this game, it may be a circumstance in which if if this was a 1-1 game, not a 7-1 game, he'd be able to stay out there and go. But not for us to speculate on injuries. We hope all is well, and we obviously wish the league's leading goal scorer a little bit better luck after suffering a couple of injuries lately here.
Yeah, and hopefully he will be back next week.
So KCG is going to move to 9-0-1. Incredibly impressive start to this year for the league's number 1 team.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better, and they played well tonight. Aware didn't really give them much opposition, but let's not take anything away from KCG. They played well.
For Aware, they're going to fall to 2-8-0, and they play next week against Siam Mandalay. We're now getting to the point in the season where teams are seeing each other for the 3rd time, and that really does become you start to see those games that you look forward to. I don't care what the records say. Aware and Siam Mandalay, we've called that game before, and it was a really entertaining one, and I'm sure that'll be a fun one next week as well.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And, okay, so the game is over. I would say, again, I'm not picking the player of the game, but if it was my choice, I would pick, despite 7 goals against him, Jimmy McAleer.
Okay, so with that said, as we, I believe, are on camera, am I correct?
Oh.
So, Greg, you already brought up the performance of Jimmy McAleer. He deserves credit for holding his team in the first couple of periods today, the young goalkeeper for Aware. However, KCG with 7 goals in the game. Talk about their performance and how they just grinded and created enough opportunities that something was going to end up in the net. Strong performance from the KCG league's number 1 offensive attack.
Okay, all 3 lines played solid. However, the two star players, Jan Isaacson and Nick Lampson, I mean, they tallied up the points. And without those 2 players, it was anybody's game. So it boils down to those 2 players.
So first game, Lexicon Lumberjacks win. Second game, KCG wins. Those 2 teams, 1 and 2 in the league, they battle next week. Tell me what you're thinking about that one, going into a 1 versus 2.
Well, it'll be interesting to see which goalies play for both teams, because each team does have 2 goalies. So I imagine they're going to play with their hot goalies. James Speck, also a good goaltender.
We're still on camera. I should have hid this. Tell me next time I should hide the box of donuts before we...
it's free advertising for Tim Hortons.
Too late anyway, yeah.
So the question is, James Speck is a good goalie. Jimmy McAleer is a good goalie. Jimmy just played fantastic tonight. Do you start him the next game? That's going to be what I'm going to watch for. Again, they've got to find a way to shut down these 2 guys, Lampson and Isaacson.
Well, they're finding a way to shut us down here. They're turning the lights off.
Well, that's a good segue.
Yeah.
That's a good segue.
Hey, last thing for me, get well Jesse Starasta. We hope to see him back and healthy next week. And we hope, obviously, that the league's leading goal scorer, Jan Isaacson, who left with an injury with less than 1 minute left in this game, he appears to be okay, but let's certainly hope that's the case. Guys, it's been a pleasure.
All righty, let's go.
This has been a battle getting this one on. Keith, thank you so much for all of your hard work as always.
Take care.
Greg, it's a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Guys, for the crew, this is our pleasure to bring you the biggest night for hockey in Thailand. I screwed that up already.
That's right.
Man, I got it right 99 out of 100 times.
I'll give you the card.
Thank you for the card. We'll see you next week. It's Hockey Night in Thailand.
Goodbye.
This has been a presentation of ThailandTV.tv, winner of the SHL Golden Mike Award for Excellence in Broadcasting for Hockey Night in Thailand.